Lee Carsley has taken charge of his first England game as head coach, and in this video we're going to be breaking down what he has changed in this England setup, and trust me guys, it's quite a lot. This is going to be a good one. Today we're taking a look at Lee Carsley's new look England. Lee Carsley's approach to football is very much possession based, but it's possession with a purpose. If you need to be a little bit more direct, you can be. If you need to play intricate small passes with movement, you can do. But it's all about maintaining that dominant possession and progression through the pitch to give yourselves the best opportunity to be able to go forwards. And his England team that he selected really does reflect that. They set up in a 4-2-3-1, opting for a number of different candidates I thought were quite interesting. The first one being Levi Colwill at the left back role. Second one being Harry Maguire as the left centre back role. Mark Gahey and Trent Alexander-Arnold finish up the back four. Kobbie Mainoo and Declan Rice are very familiar figures right now, but Jack Grealish in this number 10 role, and this is a different number 10 role to the one that we saw Jude Bellingham have at the Euros. Anthony Gordon comes in as a very, very big fan favourite now, and Bukayo Saka out on this right hand side follows up Harry Kane. I want to talk about the defence though for a moment, because there were some really interesting things that I saw in this game that Lee Carsley I think has already picked up on. The first one being the positioning of Harry Maguire. Now, when we saw Mark Gahey in the Euros, we saw him as a left centre-back. This is obviously Harry Maguire's favoured position, but I thought we'd see Gahey on that left side and Harry Maguire on the right, considering that Harry Maguire plays as a right centre-back for Manchester United. But this is not the case, and I believe this is down to the progression-based setup that Lee Carsley wants to do. So, to do this and to really take a look at it, we need to understand what England do in possession. Right, so in possession, Jack Grealish, who is your number 10, moves over to the left-hand side, and this is for a very good reason. When he moves over to the left-hand side, a couple of things happen. Declan Rice moves forward into a right attacking midfield role, and this is similar to his left attacking midfield role, but I think it's even better because he's got links to his Arsenal teammate Bukayo Saka. He's also got enough defensive cover for what Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to do, which is move infield and partner Kobbie Mainoo. Now, both of these players are then going to occupy the ball and maintain a midfield four. The back three is then going to shuffle around, and you're going to see a defensive positional based three to allow for progression and high octane possession. When we've got Harry Maguire in this centre-back role, we know he's not the quickest, but he's quite good at shuffling across and dealing with danger. Levi Colwill and Mark Gahey have enough pace to be able to really compensate for the fact that Maguire doesn't have a lot of pace about him. So I think already you've got really good balance in this England side. What you've also got is with this midfield four, you've got the opportunity for Anthony Gordon and Bukayo Saka to hold out really far. And what this does is it pushes them out wide towards the touchline. Now, when this happens, what ends up occurring is Ireland got spread really far, and when Ireland got spread, it allowed for the runs infield from Anthony Gordon and Bukayo Saka to really take advantage of the space that was given through the really opening of the channels and opening of the play that England created. It's really good, really well done, and we haven't seen an England side do this properly yet. Gareth Southgate has tinkered with certain formations, but this is the best that I think England have looked from a possessional-based just start. It's really impressive. I thought Harry Kane looked a little bit lost on occasion, and I think eventually question marks are going to be had about his actual role in this England setup coming forwards. And it also needs to be mentioned that obviously Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham were not in the side, so those are question marks that really need to be asked. But as for a possessional based point, it was really impressive. Gahey with his right foot covering this right channel, Colwill with his left foot covering this left channel, and Harry Maguire being able to sweep up, but both of them being able to cover Harry Maguire whenever he needs to. You got the directness of Trent Alexander-Arnold, and this pass was always on. Alexander-Arnold to Anthony Gordon. He tried it a number of occasions and actually resulted in a goal in one of the occasions. Kobbie Mainoo really drifting forwards, and when Trent ended up going back over to his right back slot, Mainoo ended up being the central defensive midfielder, and we've seen Lee Carsley do this as well with Angel Gomez in the under-21s. Declan Rice, I thought, was really impressive, going up and down this right-hand channel. And as I said, he can be that defensive powerhouse if Trent is out of position. So again, you've got that balance. Jack Grealish moving over to the left-hand side gave overloads for this England setup, and everything, as I've said, looked extremely balanced, especially with the out-to-win runs of Bukayo Saka and Anthony Gordon. It was just brilliant, and it's a fantastic sign of things to come. Now let's take a look at the goals, because I think that's a really good indicator as to how this England side will play. And I just want to stop here, because here I think gives a fantastic screenshot of what this Lee Carsley England side is going to look like later on down the line. So first of all, the defence. You've got your three-man defence in Mark Gahey, in Harry Maguire, who's just off your screen here, and in Levi Colwill. This makes up their back three. In possession, obviously, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold right here. He has the ball, and he's going to play a pass over to Anthony Gordon, like I mentioned earlier. You've also got him partnering with Kobbie Mainoo, and this gives England a better dominance in possession because it allows for different aspects and assets to be utilised. Trent's passing and his passing range, and Kobbie Mainoo's movement and intricacy of passing in tight scenarios. You've then also got Jack Grealish and Declan Rice moving forwards as attacking midfielders. One left, one right, and it automatically gives a natural balance. Really, really impressive. But as for the goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold has the ball here, and he's going to be playing it long. Remember those out to in runs that I mentioned earlier? That's exactly what happens for Anthony Gordon right here. So you've got him making that run from out to in. And to really highlight this, I want you to take a look at Bukayo Saka's position. It's a little bit difficult here, but you can see him on the edge of your screen right here. On the edge of this picture, we've got Bukayo Saka right here. And his hugging of the touchline highlights where Lee Carsley wants his wingers to be. They want them to be really out far wide to be able to make those direct runs infield, utilising the space that's been given through not only the press that Ireland tried to play on England, but also the spreading of the defence because of how high and wide England's wingers were. This then progresses for Anthony Gordon, but I want to take a look at this, because look at this, it's a much better angle. The ball gets played over the top, and here what have you got? You've got your two midfielders, you've got your two attacking midfielders, and you've got your striker. Anthony Gordon is running in. We know where Bukayo Saka is on the right-hand side, and there's a balance to this England setup. Far more balance, I would argue, than Gareth Southgate's, but it's very, very early. Right, this gets played on, and Anthony Gordon has a 1v1 with the goalkeeper. This is down to the setup, down to the build-up and the progression of passes that England had. It gets saved by Kelleher. Very good save, I might add, but it ends up being recycled by Anthony Gordon. And this is another thing that I really like. Heads up play. Making sure that they understand where they're going. He's going to play a ball into the space here. Harry Kane is going to read that and try to go for a shot. But what have you also got? You've got infield runs from Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice. And this is really important because as this plays on, Declan Rice understands that there could be a moment here, and the following on of runs and the attacking intent from these England players is really impressive. Declan Rice runs onto a free ball and fires it towards the top right hand corner. It's brilliantly finished, and it's just another example, or an example I should say, of a Lee Carsley goal. A bit more direct, but it's the way that it's been facilitated. Brilliant stuff. I don't think you could have had a better contrast in goals than the two that we got that England scored against Ireland. So Declan Rice currently has the ball and he's playing it over to Kobbie Mainoo. Now it's all about overloads in this particular situation, and that's what Lee Carsley's setup is. If you think about the way that you get on the ball, you need to make sure that you are in a position to get an overload on the pitch, because not only does that give you a better chance on one side of the pitch, it also means that it drags other players over. Let's take a look at how many Ireland players are here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, arguably 7, just drifting over. And then you've got Anthony Gordon here, you've got Harry Kane here, Jack Grealish, who can all spin towards that left-hand side. But let's focus on that right again. So you've got Declan Rice passing over to Kobbie Mainoo, and it's just the intricacy of passing, the progression, the ability to play a pass through the lines. Gets played once, or not once, but twice, and then again through Bukayo Saka It's just the running, the power, the movement, the dynamism, the ability to see a pattern of play evolve. And that's what I'm talking about here, guys. The patterns of play. Really impressive stuff. The imprint that has been made on this England side in such a short period of time, utilising these collective, intelligent players, is really impressive. Jack Grealish seeing himself in a number or yards of space, really, and acres of space. And it's about whether Declan Rice can pick his head up, and he can. He plays that ball through into Jack Grealish. It's really well done. Jack Grealish might run over it a little bit, but he gets back to the ball and takes a shot. Brilliantly worked. Brilliantly weighted pass as well, and it's just fantastic. Fired into the bottom left-hand corner. But again, it's the dynamism, it's the progression, and it's all facilitated by this new look Lee Carsley England. Jack Grealish gets his goal, and it's just brilliantly worked. And as I said, I don't think you could have a better contrast of two different goals scored by England in this Lee Carsley side. And there you have it, guys. It's far too early to be making a decision, but I think there are promising signs with Lee Carsley's England. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.